live.
We're rolling.
Yeah.
We're going with the flow.
I think it sounds all right.
I can hear myself.
Perfect.
So that's always what we want.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Quarterly Report with Smithy and Preezy. Episode
5. Episode
Dang!
5. Yeah.
Already?
I was shocked when I was writing. I was like, wait, which one are we up to again?
Jeez. Yeah, man. We're coming through with the content.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It feels really early because usually we record mid-month. And here's one of the rare occasions where we actually
Almost
are
on
available at the same time.
Yeah. It feels great, man. I don't know what you're talking about. We're never late. We're always on time.
No.
Always on time.
My favorite interaction was when Vincent was talking to me and he's like, I listened to your first few episodes of the podcast. He's like, it felt really outdated. I was like, this is stuff from months ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's very timely.
Yeah. No. It's hard for people. Yeah, it's hard for people to like understand the concept. Like,
yeah.
I was explaining to my sister, and I was like, "Yeah, it's the quarterly report." It's like, all right, so make it make sense. You're saying every 3 months? I'm like, and every 1 month. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, so what is it? Isn't that the monthly report? Like, don't be silly, man.
It's like it's one of those things where we started with the name and then worked backwards from there.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's make an idea out of the name.
The name is freaking genius, so we're sticking to it.
Yeah. It's like a really long improv bit.
Yeah.
That goes for months and months.
Speaking of improv, you know one thing I was thinking about doing for a while, and now I'm just because I respect the craft too much.
Well, what is it?
Comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I remember in high school, I was sat there and I was thinking, yeah, man, like I'll try my hand at comedy.
Be a comedian, yeah.
Maybe I don't think I have it. You know what I mean? Like these guys they live and breathe comedy. I've lived a comedian's life.
It takes a lot to write it and come up with like exactly what you're gonna say.
Exactly.
Sometimes it feels like scripted, and you're like, what do I?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I've lived a comedian's life, but whether or not I'd be willing to put it out on pen and paper and tell them, geez, man, that's terrifying.
What do you mean by a comedian's life?
If you notice all the comedians you've talked to, they just had ridiculous stories from when they were young.
Yeah,
Dave Chappelle,
they have a lot of stories to tell, and they're like, this is what happened. And
you're like, what? Kevin Hart, you really... Like, I used to think him talking about his uncle and his dad was all like, he didn't have an uncle who didn't wear underwear to family gatherings. It's like, no, he apparently really did.
You're like, oh, wow, these people are real people that are kind of like me.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious. I think it's great, but hey, I'm just not willing to self-deprecate. I don't know. It'd be very difficult. It'd be difficult.
Imagine telling an embarrassing story about your own life.
I was happy telling it to my lunchtime group at school, in Christian College, 2016.
Represent.
Yeah, represent. But to the interwebs, impossible, bro.
Whole other level.
Yeah.
Speaking of interwebs and people being into webs.
Come on.
Spider-Man is a superhero and he's friends with Daredevil, and Daredevil was played by Ben Affleck. That's my segue.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry.
Where is he going with this?
Where am I going with this?
Yeah.
You thought I was gonna go one way, and
hold up. You said Ben Affleck.
So
played
Ben
Daredevil.
Affleck played Daredevil,
the old one.
Yeah, the original Daredevil before Charlie Cox, and I'm pretty sure he met Jennifer Lopez on the set of Daredevil. I think, or maybe not. I might be completely wrong about that.
Dude, this was like what? Oh, in the 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s. I'm pretty sure.
Jeez,
he might have met her somewhere completely different.
I was when she was Jenny from the block.
But yeah, they're married.
Yeah, congrats.
They got married on the 16th of July, so the day after we recorded our episode.
Yeah, the actual quarterly report. Jeez.
So interesting, because
What are your
they've been
thoughts on
together
them?
before. Well, when I found out that they were like dating, I was like, is this gonna last?
Yeah.
Is this the thing? Like, you guys dated before. Maybe you're like more mature and older now, and so like
I hate to say it. I think I'm like that with every reality TV might have just ruined us, man.
Yeah, maybe.
We're looking at couples now whenever they get together. Like, if you've been together for less than, let's say, 6 months or a year, you look at every couple, you're like, I don't know.
Is it gonna last?
I don't know. You got that knee thing, and she's got that laugh. I don't know if that's gonna work.
Yeah, they're gonna get sick of each other.
It's just funny. It's funny.
True.
Like, it's sad. It's horrible. We're Christians. We're not supposed to wish bad on no. But man, it's hilarious. Betting on, will that relationship
will
work?
It last? Yeah, celebrity relationships. It feels like it's so different to a normal one.
Could you do it? If I told you today,
I couldn't tell you. Like, I honestly, if I could get with someone who like was famous, I'd be like, yeah,
no,
sorry.
But I mean it like this, right? So imagine today, because I don't know how well it would work if both people were celebrity, if both people in the partnership were celebrities, right? But imagine today, Esther became a celebrity or you became a celebrity. Could you do it and become in a celebrity relationship?
I think that's where I'd like want to stick it through and be like, yeah, like this is still important to me.
Would you put your name out there? Like, would people know who Luke Smith is?
Like if Esther was famous?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Because would I get like, yeah, it'd be so overwhelming if it's like people find out who I am and then like what if she like posts a thing saying like, oh, he said this thing, and it's just like her being like, oh, like this funny thing happened, but they take it the wrong way, and then everyone's like, oh, let's go hate on Luke Smith.
Yep. And if she's a musician,
yeah,
who is she talking about?
The stuff with Olivia Rodrigo and
what?
And the girl that she was upset about her ex getting with, like,
is that where Good For You
driver's
came from?
license?
Oh.
And Good For You. They're both about that. The guy and like saying that, he's with this blonde girl. The girl that she talks about released an album saying, and one of the singles is called "All Because I Liked a Boy," and it's like going, I got hated on, and by the time like everything went down, we weren't even together anymore, and it was all because I liked a boy.
Oh my gosh!
Like all the just drama, publicity, like.
But people didn't know who she was, right?
People knew who she was talking, who Olivia Rodrigo was talking about, because the pair had met on the High School Musical show, and so so when she broke up and said, "Oh, you're probably with that blonde girl," everyone was like, "Oh, we know who she's talking about."
Wait, what High School?
Someone from
what High School Musical show?
Like
the musical, the series.
High School Musical, the series, I think.
Is that where Olivia Rodrigo's is
in that? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that where she's famous from?
I think so. Pretty sure.
Dog, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you know what it was, right? She just came onto the scene for me. Like I didn't know her. I didn't.
The album that has like Sour, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Good For You.
Yeah.
All those songs.
But like I remember just hearing the name. Oh, have you heard Olivia Rodrigo? This and that. This and that. What was that? Then I hear Good For You. I'm like, wow. So she's a good musician. But where she came from, her back, nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely
like
nothing.
That breakup pretty much made her, like, put her on the map for a lot of people who didn't watch the series.
That's a good friend. Imagine you write a song about your ex-best friend, which then makes your ex-best friend a new up-and-coming musician.
Yeah, it'd be...
The beef is now the thing that's going to fuel you guys' career. You're actually supporting each other.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, man.
That's toxic.
Well, gotta break a few eggs.
Break to make a career omelet.
Yeah, to make a career omelet, break a few eggs. I mean, I don't know.
Hey,
maybe
Bestie,
it's manufactured.
do you want some career omelet for
I would
breakfast?
do it. I would manufacture hate with a mate just so that we both
manufacture hate.
Oh yeah, dude.
I love that.
Yeah, like beef. Like if I was Drake, I would hit up whoever my equivalent is. I'll be like, hey, we got a beef, man.
We're beefing now.
Our Instagram is dry. What are we doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, unless your name is J. Cole and Kendrick, you don't really care about all that. But if you care about the IG thing, start fake beef, man.
Gives you clout.
I'd be a great music manager. I'd be asking all my clients.
Hey, go make some beef.
Who's that? Who's your friend? Who's that? Ronaldo?
Go start a rap battle with Eminem.
Yeah, Eminem? Yeah, you got him, bro. Just start something. But, yeah, I didn't know that.
Big stuff.
That's crazy.
So, our weather has been really, really cold.
Shocking.
But on the other hemisphere in the world, moving on to some global news, England has really not had a good month. First, a bunch of Boris Johnson, that guy, a bunch of his ministers in his government just mass resigned.
They were done.
Over 40 of them were just like, yeah, we're done. Bye. And then Boris Johnson had pressure to resign as well, and so he resigned. And then all of Europe pretty much had a whole bunch of heat waves sort of later in the month, with their hottest day ever exceeding 40 degrees Celsius.
Oh, wow. England.
Now, Prosper.
England.
What do you think about a 40-degree day?
40 degree. Come on, man.
It's a heat wave.
That's an average Sydney day in summer.
For our Americans, it's 104 degrees Fahrenheit.
I remember we were at school, and you know how rumors kind of just start? Like you hear something, somehow it propagates enough that you think it's the truth.
Yeah.
I remember being sat there one day, right? And summer's in, 40 degrees, it happens.
Yeah, it happens, yeah.
It's probably going to be it's more than likely you'll get that for 5-6 days in a row.
Yeah.
I remember we were at school, and somehow the rumor had propagated that on a 45-degree day, you get sent home.
Oh.
45 degrees, it's too hot, everybody gets sent home.
Interesting.
So, you can imagine, I was so gassed. I was like, 45, we get sent home regardless, right?
Pull out the thermometer.
So then one week I look on the weather app. It had 45. This was a really hot year. Had 45, and there was one that it didn't say 45. It said 44, but I was like, all right, I'm hopeful that might get up there. The 45 day came. It didn't get to 45 where we were.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
It was 45 elsewhere, but 45 not elsewhere. At school.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, wait till whenever the next day is, right? Then I see it. The 44-degree day came, got to 40. I'm like, all right, cool. It's maybe about 12 p.m. 41. Oh, things are getting interesting. 44 somehow. I'm like, okay, so it was telling the truth. Dude, it got to 47 degrees that day.
Yeah.
47 degrees. Did you know what happened?
Yeah.
School kept going.
Kept going. It's just kept
going.
Yeah.
They didn't shut anything down. As a matter of fact, math was extra hard that day.
Did you say anything?
I asked, man. I was direct. I asked people. I'm like, hey, so on a 45-degree day, I asked the head of sports. I asked the principal or principal's wife. I think I asked, like, hey, so what? 45, we get sent home, right? It's like, yeah, but I think teachers answer politically. It's like, if it's too hot, we'll send you back. I didn't know.
It's too hot.
If it's too hot. I didn't know.
Yeah, okay.
That was a hell no. We're not sending you back home. So I was like, oh, okay, 45.
The trick to that answer is, if it's too hot, it's never too hot,
it's never too hot. If you're still standing, you're good. But yeah, 40-degree day. Look, I feel for my England brothers and sisters.
Yeah, for sure.
But, hey, man.
I think the sort of wildlife and stuff in that area is probably not built for hot weather either, because there were wildfires that started in Spain, France, Italy, Greece, and there are actually a lot of deaths in Portugal.
Something my sister said was that their AC infrastructure and things like that's just not the same as us.
Oh, okay.
That kind of thing. It's the Australia's, you can say, built for that.
Yeah. We expect hot weather.
We expect hot summers every single year. I don't know what England... what, 35-degree days at their hottest, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
So 40 would be crazy for them, like especially if you're not seeing that all the time. It's like, wow, where's this come from? But that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and it looked like that heat wave sort of moved on as well to like the USA's northeast.
Really?
As well.
What, like
sort
New York and
later. I think it said like Philadelphia.
Philly, okay. So around that area, kind of.
So that was and I think Pennsylvania was the other.
Oh yeah, well I mean Pennsylvania is the state.
Oh yeah,
where Philadelphia is in anyway.
Of course.
But that's crazy.
Yeah. Big
I mean,
stuff.
the U.S. has, like in the desert, they have a bunch of those days.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like 110 Fahrenheit and stuff, which is like what we
41,
experience. Yeah. So they're used to it, but I don't know, England, it feels, bro. But I don't know, 40 degrees. People look forward to that here. Right?
Oh, we're gonna go to the beach, mate.
Yeah, going to the beach, mate. Yeah, good on you.
No, you're absolutely right. Another cool thing that happened is that Germany signed an agreement with Nigeria that they would return ownership of over 1,000 of these things called the Benin bronzes or Benin bronzes.
Oh, Benin?
Benin. Oh, okay, that'd be it.
Maybe, yeah.
Benin.
Benin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced Benin. Yeah.
Sounds about right. Yeah, like they were looted in colonial times, and so like because of the race for Africa.
Yeah. Yeah,
Germany had taken a whole bunch of stuff.
Germany had a lot of colonies in Africa, and then come World War, it would have been 1 or 2. England actually took over. So there was like Egypt. There was where I'm from, Tanzania, places like that. England, just took over from all those places. So yeah, man,
it's so good, like to see that progress of like countries going, oh, like this stuff from our museums that we've like got, we're actually going to return it because it's not actually ours. Like that's so like good to see people actually like taking responsibility for like past traumas and things that like they've done, because it's not just like brushing it under the rug and just ignoring it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was some guilt or some pressure there, but you know, people are getting it back, then everyone's happy.
Yeah,
sort of,
for sure. Do you think it's time for our next segment?
You talking about deep that?
I'm talking about deep that.
All right, let me see if I can pull this up. I literally just found these before the start of the pod, but thought I'd ask them to you. What I was looking for was like deeper questions.
Yeah,
questions that
100%.
you like, shower thoughts, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe I can maybe I can even look for that right now. But you see, Reddit is one of those forums, undefeated.
It's just an infinite, some would say cesspool, but
you might say.
Just depends on what they're covering.
All right.
The alleged front page of the internet.
Dude, I'm on Reddit and some of these are like, wow. Okay.
What's the what subreddit are you on? Subreddit.
This is called Shower Thoughts.
Oh. Yeah, they can be hit or miss. How are you sorting it? I'm a bit of a Reddit
connoisseur, are you? Yeah, right.
Not connoisseur.
Okay.
Wouldn't claim to be that.
No, I'm kind of just like reading some in advance, and I'm gonna just lay them out. I'm gonna lay them out and see if. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna read them to you. You tell me how deep this is. Is it something that you can fathom?
Or
start off with something intellectual.
Oh yeah.
A luxury car. So a Mercedes, a G-Wagon, Tesla, come on. Vegan leather, right? Imagine a luxury car. A luxury car is a display of either A, how responsible, or B, irresponsible someone is with their money.
Oh, yeah.
You might say
100%.
that. Would you spend $200K on a car?
How much money do I have to spend? If I have 200K to spend, I'm definitely not gonna spend it all on a car.
See, here's my thing. My answer is yes, because I
yeah.
definitely have those intentions at some point.
Yeah.
How much money I have in the future, that's I don't know. But it's more like building the car. But hey,
fair enough.
Next one, space either ends or doesn't end, and both are equally weird.
Oh.
If it ends, what does that look like? What is beyond space? What is the space beyond space?
Oh, I think it.
Yeah. Yeah, you think it's what?
It's not.
No, it's not.
What is? It's not. Like it.
Right?
Like you're asking, what is it? Well, it is not.
But for something to not be, it is to ascertain that it is the absence of a thing that is. If we are in darkness, we are ascertaining that there is no light.
Yes.
For there to be no space.
So, like, outside of space, if space ends, then beyond space, there is an absence of space and time.
What do we call that entity? We're
don't
delving
know.
into deeper scientific questions here now. This one's got me. No, we must solve this one.
That's so confusing.
If space...
But if it doesn't end, then... Well, I guess it gives you that question of, like, where does it end? But it's like, it doesn't. So either way, it's like... It's either outside of space... What is outside of space? And... The answer is, like, there's not anything outside
Hold
of
space. Hold up. I understood what you just said.
Or, like, if there is infinite space, then there's no end to it. And if you go, like, oh, but, like, how do you know where the edge is? And the answer is, like, it's a non sequitur.
What are we saying by saying it's infinite? Is it expanding?
Well, if it's infinite, how does it expand? Well, I guess, like, you can have a bigger infinity.
Is it infinitely expanding?
Well,
this is what I'm saying, bro. I'm asking.
Yeah, that's so confusing.
Einstein's not gonna ask you this. Is nothing. Does space end, dude? I'm gonna sit with that now. Is there a point where, say, I could move faster than the speed of light itself, somehow find myself at the end of space? Can I like step off? How do you do that? But does that exist?
Is there an off to step into or out of? Like,
because what is the space beyond space if
like,
there is no?
It's so beyond any, like, categories.
Dog, that one's gonna sit with me, man.
Oh, mate, like one of the kids at the school I work at, one of the schools I work at, he was like saying to me, so like, how far is the planet? I'm like, which planet? He's like, the planet.
What?
I'm like, are you talking about Earth? He's like, well, like Australia, America. I'm like, you mean countries?
See, so wait, he said, how far is the planet?
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, like how does the moon be a circle? I'm like, what do you mean?
Wow. Wow.
So, like, the way that a kid understands the world is, and he's like, oh, like, how does the moon go up and come down and the sun is going up and down? Like, how does that happen? I'm like, it's not, I can't explain it if you think that Australia is a planet.
You next time you just tell Copernicus and the weatherman on Channel 7 will tell you, man.
Oh, and today they were talking about how the sun, what is the sun made of? And the teacher was like, the answer is gas. And they're like, but how can it be a gas? It's made of fire, miss. It's made of fire.
Yeah, they don't understand. They don't understand.
Yeah, we were trying to like explain it, and they're like, well, how does it keep burning and stuff? It's gonna, like, wouldn't it burn up? And we're like, well, that's like nuclear fusion and stuff. We can't really explain that to you because it's too complicated. We barely understand it.
Yeah.
You know? Oh gosh.
Hey, no, kids are smart today. Smarter than you and me. All right, here's another one. This is more of like an age thing. Which, by the way, I have another one that hopefully I don't forget after this. The 2020s are a quarter of the way over.
Wait. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh.
We're literally over that quarter mark.
Oh my gosh.
This episode of the Quarterly Report with Smithy and Preezy is shot at the start of the quarter or the end. No, this is the end of.
This is the end of
the
end of the first month
of the third quarter.
There we go.
That's
we made it. We
right
made it,
there.
folks.
Yeah. That's how genius minds at work. Yeah. But I had a thing the other day, right? You were born in 99.
Yeah.
I was born in 98. I experienced a good 12 hours of 1998.
Yeah, you did.
I did. A solid 12 hours. If we live to be 100.
Oh, and 102. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this on the first episode.
Did we?
And we would have been in 3 centuries. Yes.
3 centuries, 2 millennia.
2 millennia, yeah.
Dude, does that not freak you out, man?
It's insane. And you know what's like so weird is that when I was growing up, if I had to figure out like how long ago like 1980 was, I'd just round down, you know? It's 2005. It's fine if you assume that anywhere between 1980 and 1990 is 10 to 20 years ago.
Exactly. Whereas now,
the 80s were 40 years ago.
40 years.
1990 was 30 years ago. If you were born in 1990, you're 30 years old.
In 6 years' time, you and me are going to be... Hey, no, I'm doing that math wrong. No, we're going to be 29.
20... Yeah.
Dog, I don't even want to think about that. That comes with all sorts of... Yeah, dude, but it's crazy because like now if I think of 15 years, right? In my head, I'm still, all right, maybe 2000, you know, like that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
but
like 15 years ago.
15 years ago. But 15 years ago was 2007. 2007? Dude, that's just...
That's more than... Because I assume that kids these days are like, they were born in like 2005.
That's right.
Nope.
Not the case.
2005,
Not
they're
the case.
now 17.
My nephew... When did One Direction break up?
I don't know. 2012? No, that was when they started.
Whenever it was, right?
2015 or something.
Maybe around then. But I just like clocked that my nephews were born in 2014. Ian and Ivan.
Yeah.
Alvin was born in, I think, 2017. He wasn't around. For him, the One Direction is to him what the Beatles was to us.
Oh, true, because the Beatles weren't really a thing when we were...
When we were born, it's like, all right, the Beatles were like...
In the past.
Yeah, I don't know when they ended things.
No, neither.
So maybe, I don't know, other groups, Casey and JoJo, I don't know when they broke things up. R&B groups and stuff. But that's how time is moving right now?
Yeah.
It's messing me up.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's messed up, man. All right.
Do you have... you said you had another one, or was
that was the one I was talking about. But no, that one's no good. It was talking about flying cars and stuff.
Flying cars, yeah.
No. All right, let me see if I can find one here. Bear with me. Do you have any shower thoughts that you usually come across? Like here.
Oh, I can't
immediately.
I always forget about them. There was this interesting page called Depths of Wikipedia. And I had this thing called the July effect.
Okay.
Which is the perceived increase in risk of medical errors and surgical complications that is associated with US medical school graduates starting their residency. So like when they start, then people like imagine that there's more risk of like there being errors in
Sure.
medicine because they've started their residence, like the graduates have started in July specifically. And I was like,
Huh.
oh, that's really relevant to
yeah.
to doing a recap on July.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
you know.
I've got another one. This one's actually a financial one now.
Ooh,
It's got me thinking.
financial.
Sort of financial.
Ooh, mate.
Open parking may cost way more than covered parking in the future if cars are powered by solar energy.
Oh.
Think about that. You might park for free if it's underground,
True.
or maybe it's like $5 or whatever. But then if it's out in the sun, you're getting free recharge. So
100%.
charge
That's
you 20.
completely the opposite of how it is now. You go underground, it's like, oh yeah, free for 3 hours, and then it's like $50 if you stay for 5 hours.
Yep.
And then open parking outdoors. Sometimes you'll have like a parking meter, but most of the time it's pretty free range.
Yeah, man, they're just
That's insane.
Yeah, ridiculous.
True. Should we move on to the next segment?
We'll move on to the next segment. We'll save the rest for next week.
Yes, sounds good. Week?
Hey,
wait,
next
did we
month.
just
next month or whatever.
next episode? We'll say that.
That's the one.
Maybe
Next
we'll
episode.
post next week. Maybe we'll post in a month.
You never know.
Never know.
You never know.
Guess you'll never know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to move on to some science, technology, engineering, maths, STEM news.
Here it is.
Yeah. Our first bit of news was on July 11th.
Mm-hmm.
NASA released images from the James Webb Space Telescope, and I've got a picture here, but if you haven't seen it, you just look up JWST images.
Some fancy stuff, yeah.
So the first one they did was like a cluster of galaxies, and there's like little warped bits because of like the gravity of the light. And so it's most of the galaxies there are about 4 billion light years away. But there's also like some tiny little background bits that are like 13 billion light years away.
That's crazy.
So, or at least that's what they've measured, which is pretty insane. And there was this thing called I think it's called like the cliffs of a nebula or something like that.
Oh,
and it looks so beautiful. It's like this big nebula, like it's yellow and has like a blue background for us listening. But it's so like, just like, whoa, space is cool.
Dude,
Space
imagine what it'd be
so
like.
nice.
I ask myself this all the time. Like, what would it be like to, I don't know, you wouldn't call it step foot, but just
to explore.
Yeah, well, just being there. First of all, it would terrify me.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Because it wouldn't look like a tiny little picture on a page. It would look like this massive just thing in the distance.
And even when you see in those movies, you know, when you have like the astronaut and they attach the little cable in the spacesuit.
Yeah.
And they have to get from one spot to the other in space.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Dude, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
They're not, like, heart rate for me would just be going up. Like, what if I die?
Yeah, what if I just die out here? Because it's vast and
you have to trust that
but
cable,
also
man.
nothing. Yeah.
What's it held back by?
Got your oxygen and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, space is crazy, man. Do you think we, in our lifetime, Elon really wants to? Do you think we'll get to
Mars?
Anywhere. Mars is probably the most, because what? Mercury is hot. Venus is hotter.
Yeah.
Mars has water, or evidence that they've had water.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible that they have water, but also maybe not. It's sort of one of those weird, like, we don't know.
Yeah. Pop quiz. Can you name all the 7 planets? 8 planets?
I think isn't it 7?
Maybe.
Yeah, you just have, I don't know the order, but Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter,
Uranus,
Neptune.
Yeah, that's right. So those.
Oh, there used to be 9 because it's Pluto.
That's interesting, man. Of all of those, which one's the one with the rings? Saturn. That place used to fascinate me, man.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
One time I was at school and I had to do like a research project, and it was you had to research one of the planets.
Yeah.
And I never realized that there were planets that could be made just of like a big clump of gas.
Right.
and then I was reading like about Jupiter, and it's just like this big clump of gas, but it's so dense, like in how much gas there is in such a small space. Really? That like the gravitational force on Jupiter, it's massive as well.
That's the biggest one, isn't it? Or is Neptune the biggest one?
I think Jupiter's the biggest planet in our solar system. Yeah. And like the gravity is like 144 times Earth's on the surface. Right. And then it like multiplies that by 1,000 when you go towards the core, I think. Jeez. So if I'm recalling something I read in year 6.
Something that weighs a kilo here weighs 144 there, in theory.
Yeah, on the surface if you were to touch the surface, but you can't like, because it's gas, you just fall straight through.
Jeez, man.
So it's, I
didn't know that about. That's Jupiter.
Yeah, Jupiter.
That's insane. I'm gonna visit one day. Send someone a postcard there.
Oh, yeah, it's so insane. Yeah. Speaking of space, on the 8th of July, there was astronomers who reported a discovery of massive amounts of prebiotic molecules, including molecules that are used for RNA, in the galactic center of the Milky Way galaxy. So what that means is like they found molecules that sort of make up, or that are thought to make up, the starting points of life in like the center of our galaxy.
Jeez.
So I don't know what that means.
No, I could pretend for you, but I don't know that.
Fun times. And our last little bit of science news is, well, it's not really news. It's more did you know, there was another one of those depths of Wikipedia things. Did you know that the last week of July is National Moth Week?
What does that mean? What does that mean, man?
It's, I don't know where they do this, but it sounds so weird.
National Moth Week.
So it's a citizen science project.
Okay.
And they study and record populations of moths. They like study the moths and record how many there are. It's just so weird. Like the last week of July, let's just look at moths and count them. And stuff.
All due respect to every single animalologist, whatever they do,
biologists and stuff.
But of all the most boring animals, in my opinion, moths, worms.
You could have at least looked at butterflies. Maybe they have some nice patterns and
look at flamingos.
Yeah, true.
Eagles. But hey, it's a week for somebody. 52, but there's 52 weeks in the year. They've assigned one for the month.
152nd of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. No, good for them, man.
But that's all our science, technology, engineering, maths news.
Yeah, fantastic.
For you.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. What did you have anything on the agenda?
No, I mean, to be honest, man, like I'm looking forward to this upcoming month. I have some movies I said that I've wanted to watch. Nope. I've already started seeing reviews of that. That's looking dope. And we were talking about it before. It's like that used to be my thing.
Yeah, your thing. Yeah, just like go to the movies.
Going to the movies, man. I had just gotten comfortable with taking myself to the movies, and now it's it's not weird that I can't take myself to the movies, but I'm fine. I'm not even setting time for it. I'm just I'm not going today.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I know the feeling. I haven't seen anything like this whole month, but maybe it's because we last episode was 2 weeks ago.
That's true.
And so it's just like 2 weeks isn't very long to see stuff. I did start watching The Grey Man on Netflix. That? So it's it sounds so weird.
Yeah, it does.
It's directed by the Russo brothers, and so Ryan Gosling is a grey man. He's not actually a grey man.
Sure.
But what it's called, like the Project Sierra, and he's number 6.
Yeah.
And basically they take them out of jail and they're like, "Hey, you're a bad guy and you beat up people and stuff. We want you to work for the CIA and be a grey man. You're going to live in the grey." And he's like, well, what's in it for me? And they're like, "We're going to pay you money and stuff." And he's like, "Okay."
All right. So it's kind of like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I guess so.
That concept.
Yeah, that sort of concept.
Hmm.
He works for the CIA, but does he? But are the CIA actually trying to terminate that project and kill him? Who knows?
He's dispensable to them.
Maybe his first target that we see. I don't think he's the first target.
Did you say Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling.
Ah.
It has. It also has.
Yeah.
I've forgotten his name.
No.
Chris.
Not
Captain
Pratt.
America.
Evans.
That's the one.
I
forgot his name.
I saw this on I saw
like an ad.
Yeah, exactly. I was on Netflix and I saw that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe.
He's very, very different character.
I can't see him as anything but Captain America now.
The first scene that you see him in, it's like I didn't even recognize him. He's torturing some guy. He's like, "So you're gonna tell us? We have to squeeze harder."
Steve.
And then he like zaps the guy. And it's like,
no, Steve, what are you doing?
He's like, "Oh, I guess we're gonna have to come back." And then his phone rings. He's like, "I thought I told you guys not to have your phones on."
Yeah.
And he's like, "It's yours." He's like, okay.
That's interesting.
And who's calling? Maybe it's the CIA. Ooh.
That's how the movie starts.
Maybe they want... no, it starts off with Ryan Gosling. He's in jail.
Okay.
He's like, I'm in jail.
Yeah, but
and
later
he's like,
on,
why are you meeting up with me? He's like, well, we're going to move you out of prison. And then like, maybe the first target is actually one of the Project Sierra people. And he reveals to him that
government is shady, man.
He's like, you don't even know who I am.
Shady. All of y'all. But yeah, man. I think
I've enjoyed it so far.
I mean, yeah, I'm glad. CIA man. Gray man, sorry.
Yeah, the Gray Man.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that's our cue there. Leave, unless you have another topic to talk about.
Yeah, there was it wasn't really much on this month. Like there was a few movies and shows. I watched Superman and Lois.
Yeah, you've been
I started watching that.
You said you really like that show.
Old. It's really good. I'm up to season 2. And it just like I highly recommend it because it really explores like the humanity of Superman and just where he's at as a person, rather than like the typical movies. You only have an hour or two to like cover like this guy just saving people. Yeah. Whereas you have like Superman and Lois, it explores like family values. How do you prioritize when you have to save the world and like have a family? Yep. He has kids and stuff, and you just see like a man who's trying his best to be good and do the best for everyone, and like it's hard even for someone has like superpowers. And so I'm like, oh, like this really says a lot about like what it's like to be a human and to like value justice and righteousness and stuff.
Do you think they took notes from Homelander?
I think he's completely the opposite.
There's only one way from now on that I want to see Superman redepicted, and it's if he has traces of Homelander's characteristics.
Oh, well, actually, the first villain that you meet, he's this guy called John Henry Irons, and he in the comics he's this guy called Steel, and he's basically like got this big metal suit that gives him the powers of Superman. But when you first meet him, he's like, "Oh, my world was destroyed by Superman because Superman turned on our world and just like took over for his Kryptonian people." And so there is sort of that aspect of like Homelander. He's like, oh, soups are better and we're going to take over the world if we have the chance. So like it does explore that, but it explores it from the point of like, let's take these people down. And what do you do when someone's like trying to kill you and you don't want to kill them because you want to convince them that actually you're not that person that they think you are. And so I was like, wow, like this is really...
Look, I'll watch it. I'll give it a shot because you've spoken so highly of it. But at this point now, I think the bar has been set. If your TV show movie is not The Boys, then your TV show movie is not legit.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all fake looking. Yeah. Man of Steel, maybe, but
yeah, Man of Steel is.
I like that movie. You know, we just had Jacob enter the pod room.
Hello, sir.
He's looking at our notes now.
Yeah.
What else do you have on the agenda?
I think that's the show.
That's it?
I think that's the show. Right. Look, if you ever want to get in touch with us. We have a Gmail. It's smittyandpreezypod@gmail.com.
Come on.
If you want to support us and donate to our Patreon, we have that. It's at patreon.com/smittyandpreezypod. Chuck in a buck or any amount that you're not going to miss. We don't need anything, but it, like shows that people want to keep it running and like pay for equipment and stuff. No, but like, yeah, even if you don't, like, we don't mind.
Yeah.
We have a Twitter, Luke Prosper Pod, Instagram, Smitty and Preezy Pod, same as on Facebook, same on TikTok. We have an Acast site, so it's shows.acast.com/the-quarterly-report. And yeah, that's all our like links and stuff. But yeah, send us an email, write a review. Yeah, keep in touch. We always want to hear from people, because eventually we want to be at the point where people will be like, oh, like, well, Prosper and I will be like, oh, someone asked us this question, or someone told us that we should cover this thing. Like, like that's where we want to get to.
On another episode, the idea of like, we've been getting a lot of requests.
A lot of requests, yeah.
We've been doing that on the other pod. It's like only like 2 requests that we're getting.
Yeah.
We're making it sound big, but it's all right.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We're going to be Rogan. Anyway, this has been Preezy and Smitty.
Yeah.
Signing off. Thank you once again. We'll see you in 1 month.
Yeah, see you in 1 month.
Goodbye.
Bye.